Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how to make my healthy and delicious creamy dal. It's really simple to make and it only takes a few ingredients. So most of the ingredients are ones that you're kind of already going to have hopefully in your cupboards, which is why I've chosen to show this recipe in particular, because I know that it's kind of hard to get stuff at the moment, so hopefully this is one recipe that you can rely on during the lockdown. So the first and main ingredient you're going to need is dried red lentils. As far as I know, people aren't stockpiling on this yet, so go get yourself some. I get mine from the eco shop, you know, the refill shop, because then it doesn't come in any packaging, which is great. So the dal I'm going to make today is just a simple plain dal with sweet potato in. So previously when I've made it on the retreat days, I've done it like a Buddha bowl. So you'd have the quinoa, the dal, and then the sweet potato roasted separately, just to add different textures. And if you have more time, it's quite nice to do it like that. But today I'm going to put the sweet potato in the dal, less washing up. Kids like it, family like it better, so I'm doing it like this. So other things you're going to need is your rice or quinoa to go with it. I'm going to probably do both today because I like quinoa, family like rice, so there you go. We're also going to need some spices, which I'll talk you through when we get to that point. Garlic and stock. I'm using this vegetable bullion, the vegan one. I think that the normal one has milk powder in, so I get this one. But any vegetable stock is great if you make your own, perfect. And then you're going to need sweet potatoes. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing with the sweet potato now. I've just peeled them and now we're just going to chop them into chunks, about an inch squared. So I'll just show you kind of the size because I like it to be quite chunky. So like this, in the dal, just so that when it cooks down, it doesn't completely dissolve, and then you're left with just kind of without the texture parts of the dal. So you can, if you don't have sweet potato, you can also do this with carrot or butternut squash, and that would work really well as well. And the great thing about sweet potatoes is full of loads of vitamin C, all the things that are good for boosting your immune system. The spices that I use as well, especially the tumeric, that's really, really good for helping boost your immune system. So this recipe is a really good immune boosting recipe as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish this and then we'll move on to the next stage. So that's the sweet potato all done. I just did 2 big ones. And they're kind of just this nice kind of cubed up size. The next thing I'm going to do is the garlic. So I'm going to use 3, maybe 4 of these garlic cloves. We're just going to peel them and going to use the garlic press because it needs to be quite well distributed throughout the dal. Okay, so this is the garlic press. I'm just going to leave that to one side now. And what I'm doing is I'm just browning off coriander seeds and cumin seeds in a dry pan. You don't want to add any oil to this yet. The coriander and cumin seeds are nicely browned. You can smell them and they start to kind of pop a little bit. That's when you know they're ready. So next I'm going to add some coconut oil into the cumin and coriander seeds. I'm going to use about a tablespoon of that, and I'm using this raw virgin coconut oil. Okay, so just adding that now. Let's try to get it all. And if you don't have coconut oil, you can use any vegetable oil or rapeseed oil instead. Okay, so let me just change the heat. Hang on. So that was just on a low heat. And now into that, we're gonna add the garlic. What you don't wanna do here is burn the garlic. So keep it on that low heat and keep stirring it. all we're looking to do is to take that sort of bitter edge off the garlic. You just want to get it infusing into the oil and just gently browning a little bit. So now I've made the stock up. I just put 2 tablespoons of water into a jug with boiling water, give it a good stir around. I've made about kind of like 2.5 pints here of stock. So normally I would use coconut milk in this recipe, but I cannot get any because apparently people are stockpiling every single thing that comes in a tin. So instead I'm just using all stock. It still has a really nice flavour. It's not quite as creamy, but it's still great. So normally I would use 1 can of coconut milk and then 2 cans of water or stock that I've poured into the can just to get all of the kind of remnants out. So if you have coconut milk, please do that. I'm just completely without any. So, okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add the sweet potato, the lentils and the stock to the pan. I'm just gonna turn you so you can see a little bit better. Yeah. Okay, so lentils I'm gonna add first. I don't measure, so I've used like half a jar, but the recipe has the actual measurements in it. Okay, just give that a little stir. And now I'm gonna add the stock. Okay. So I just add enough stock to cover the lentils plus about 1 centimetre on top. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna now rack the heat up a little bit. It's been on really low, so now just turning it up to medium high. Okay. And then into that now I'm going to add the sweet potato. Alrighty, and then just give that a good little stir about. So this is kind of what it's looking like now. Looks kind of odd right now, but trust me, once the lentils start to cook down, it's going to be amazing. Okay, so I've put the lid on the dal now, and I'm just going to turn the heat down to sort of low medium, and we're just going to let that simmer away until all the lentils have broken down, absorbed all of the stock, and it becomes kind of like a little bit more mushy. When you stir it, it'll really break down and go smooth and creamy. If you need to, you might just need to keep checking on it, give it a little stir every kind of 5 minutes. If you feel that it's starting to get a bit too dry, just add some more water or stock. Okay, so whilst that's cooking, I'm gonna get on with the rice and the quinoa. It's the same rule for both. You want to do 1 cup of rice or quinoa to 2 cups water. So I'm just gonna use a glass to measure it. So it's like 1 part rice or quinoa to 2 parts water. Okay. Alrighty, so and a clean spoon now. Just gonna give it a quick stir, pop the lid on, and keep an eye on it basically. Starting it off on a high heat until it starts to simmer. Give it another stir and then turn the heat down and just let it cook until all the water is absorbed. So that we get our vitamins in and our greens in, I'm gonna do some kale now, which I'm gonna serve with the dal. So luckily you can still get kale from kind of farmers markets. I got this from our local produce shop, and I'm just going to give it a wash now and show you how I prepare the kale. Okay, so I'm just going to get all this in a colander and just give it a good rinse first of all. Make sure there's no soil or little buggies in there. And you have to be careful with this curly kale to open it up and check inside and wash all of that as well. Now it's washed, what we're going to do is separate it from the hard stem because that part is not nice to eat. So all you do is just hold the stem and then rip the leaves off it like that. And you should be left with a stalk in the middle and then nice little separate pieces of kale like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the kale back into the colander, and we're going to use that to steam the kale over the top of the quinoa while it's cooking. I'm also just breaking up any really big pieces of kale, so you want it to be kind of bite-sized. Okay, so now I'm going to pop that. When we've got about 5 minutes left of the cooking time on the quinoa, I'm just going to pop that in, put the lid on the top, and that will steam the kale just lightly to take the crunch out. Okay, so I've just popped the kale in the colander on top of the quinoa. So quinoa's underneath. It's got a few minutes left. You can still see a little bit of water there. So the kale now is just steaming on top of that, and I've just turned the rice off because that's done. So we are almost there. I'm going to show you what it's looking like in the dal now. This needs another 5 minutes like the quinoa, 5-10 minutes maybe, just to soak up the rest of this water and make sure that it's completely broke down to make it really creamy. But it's kind of almost there now. So the kale is now cooked or steamed, so I'm just going to take that now off the top of the quinoa and drop it into a bowl. Okay, and we're just going to add a little light seasoning dressing to the kale, and I think that this quinoa, yeah, that's done as well. So excuse the steam. But as you can see, it's now kind of all nicely absorbed all the water and it's gone fluffy. And that looks perfect. So just give it a little stir and then I'm gonna... Okay, righty. Just leave that to one side. Okay, so with this steamed kale, I'm just gonna add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Some of this molten sea salt, just a little sprinkle. Pepper, black pepper, and a little squeeze of lemon. I've like always got a lemon halved in my fridge, so okay, so just a little squeeze of that. Okay, and then you're just going to get your clean hands in and just give it a little toss. You always want to taste this as well and just check the seasoning. Perfect. But if it needed a little bit more salt or olive oil, then you just add that and just get it till it tastes really good. Okay, so we're ready now just to check on the dal. The dal now should be ready. I'm just going to give it a little stir and see. Yeah, this is looking good. So as you can see, it's gone really nice. Sorry about the steam. It's gone really nice and thick and creamy now. And the sweet potato is really soft and cooked through. So now I'm just going to season it to taste. But again, we've got salt and black pepper. And then it's ready to serve. All right, so everything's done. So now I'm gonna show you how I serve this up. So I've got these really nice little coconut bowls. So we start off with about a third of the bowl is gonna be the quinoa. Okay, then I'm gonna add the dhal. Again, we want about a third. Oh, I wish you could smell this. It smells amazing. And then the final third is your kale. So just pop that. Put that in there. Okay, and then I always top this off with an omega seed mix that I make. It's got linseeds, chia seeds, sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and I think there's actually some cashews in there as well, which I just toast in a dry pan with a bit of tumeric and black pepper. It's really tasty. Any seeds work though, just gives a nice little crunch on the top. Okay, alrighty. So this is it, guys. My creamy dhal with sweet potato served with kale and quinoa and beautiful omega seed mix. So thanks so much for joining me. Let me know if you've enjoyed this video and I can do some more. Got lots of time on our hands now, so we can cook beautiful food and make sure we're taking care of our health and our bodies from the inside out. All right, lots of love. Speak soon. Bye.